Audio check, audio check. Checking audio, audio check. Check, check, checking audio. Audio check. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Checking audio. 1, 2. 1, 2, 3. Checking audio. Checking audio. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 1, 2. Good afternoon to everybody tuning in. I just want to give you an opportunity to pick up your volume if you are here to watch the seniors ceremony.
Mia Kreitz, Allie Kemery, Amelia Rooks, and Annika Schnell. If you are attending as a guest of one of our seniors, please make your way down to the field now.
Again, this is the ceremony for the current seniors on this Hornet team. So please go ahead and turn that volume dial a little bit up here if you are watching for any of the seniors in particular.
Seniors, thank you for your 4 years of commitment to K College soccer. Through early mornings, long bus rides, injuries, and adversity over the years, you've set the standard in the classroom, maintaining one of the highest GPAs on campus for your 4 years and on the field, leaving the program in a better place than you found it. To your families, friends, and teammates, thank you for the support that made tonight possible. Our first senior is Ellie Red Andrews. Ellie is accompanied by her mom, Amy Andrews, her dad, Cushman Andrews, and her grandparents. After her time at K, she plans to take a gap year before attending nursing school. When it comes to favorite memories, it's impossible for her to choose just one. Some of the highlights include dancing to the Cotton Eye Joe in the locker room, riding in the bed of Mia's truck as a freshman, playing What Are the Odds, creating a dance with her teammates in the basement of Tro during freshman year, and the annual team bonding. She would like to thank the trainers for always putting up with her frequent visits to the training room, and her teammates for making this the best team she has ever been a part of, a team she will always love cheering for and playing alongside. She also extends her deepest gratitude to her family for always supporting her, especially her parents, who spent countless hours driving her to games and practices and dealing with her frustration after tough losses. Finally, she wants to thank her dad for taking her to her first club soccer tryout, even when she didn't want to go. Without that push, she wouldn't be the player she is today, and she will always be grateful. Next up is Elle Burness. Joining her today are her parents Ron and Kate Burness and her brother Patrick Burness. After her time at K, Elle plans to return to France to teach English before pursuing law school. Her favorite K memories are the late night practices, watching the beautiful sunsets on the MAC while surrounded by the best team in the world. She would like to thank her parents for encouraging her to play college soccer, suggesting Kalamazoo College, and supporting her through countless games and practices from U3 until now. She also wishes to thank her roommates for cheering the team on during games and patiently putting up with many hours of soccer talk at home. She is grateful to Coach Jill for her leadership support and for always matching the team's energy. Finally, she wants to thank her teammates, past and present, for making a lasting impact on the program and inspiring her throughout her 4 years. From the moment she first stepped into the locker room, it felt like a sisterhood, one she will cherish forever, remembering every single player she's had a privilege to play alongside. Next up is Mia J.C. Kreitz. After Mia's time at K, she is excited to see the world and continue her studies in ecology. Some of her favorite K soccer memories include traveling with the team to watch the Women's World Cup and exploring New Zealand, as well as the unforgettable preseason mornings with her roommates, waking up sore and limping around in silence while Lana blasted EDM at full volume. She would like to thank her family for their endless love and encouragement and for the countless hours they spent supporting her from the sidelines and driving her to practices and games over the years. Finally, she wants to thank her teammates, past and present. It has been an honor and privilege to play alongside them, and she will always be grateful for the memories and friendships that made her time at K so special. Accompanied today by Haley Kreitz, her dad, Jeff Kreitz, and her brother, Colin Kreitz. Everyone give it up for Mia Kreitz. Next up is Allie K. Kemery. After her time at K, she plans to attend graduate school for neurobiology with the hopes of traveling more, especially to explore national parks. Her favorite K memories include the futsal sessions in the winter, which were always her favorite way to connect with teammates during the off-season. She would like to thank her dad for the countless hours spent watching, talking about, and driving her to and from soccer. His support has meant the world. She is also deeply grateful to Coach Jill for giving her the chance to continue pursuing the game she loves. Playing soccer at K has brought her some of her closest friends and most meaningful memories, and she will always be thankful for the opportunity. Lastly, she wishes to thank her fellow seniors, Elle, Ani, Amelia, Mia, and Ellie, for being such welcoming, encouraging teammates. She couldn't imagine a better group of girls to end her time at K with. Joining Allie today are her mom, Carrie, her dad, Jamie, and her brother, Brendan. Give it up for Allie Kemery. Our next senior is Amelia Meals on Wheels Rooks. After her time at K, Amelia plans to take a gap year before attending chiropractic school at the Palmer College of Chiropractic. Her favorite memories at K include studying abroad in Madrid last summer and experiencing the undeniable energy in the locker room every game. Amelia would like to give a special thanks to the team's athletic trainer, Jordan, for being there throughout her ACL injury this season. Your support and kindness has meant more to her than you know. Finally, she wishes to thank Coach Jill and her teammates for welcoming her with open arms when she transferred in her sophomore year. They gave her another chance to play the game she has loved her whole life and reminded her why she fell in love with soccer in the first place. Amelia will forever cherish her time at K and the lifelong friendships she made here. Accompanied by her mom, Sarah, dad, Tim, and two sisters, Beatrice and Frances. Give it up for Amelia Rooks. Lastly, but not least, Annika Annie Schnell. Joining Annie today are her sister Ella, her brother Sam, her mom Sarah, and her dad Brian. After her time at K, she plans to attend medical school. Her favorite memories at K include doing the Cotton Eye Joe before every game, singing songs together on the bus rides home, and every moment spent laughing, joking, and playing soccer with her teammates and best friends. She would like to thank her parents for their endless support, love, and sacrifices that allowed her to continue playing the game she loves. She also wants to thank her teammates for always cheering her on and cheering her up when needed. Most importantly, she is grateful to her teammates for making every moment worth it. These past 4 years have been incredible, and she will miss them deeply. Stingers up, baby! Thank you to everyone who made today possible, and we'd also like to recognize the seniors from Albion College for their dedication to their program. Best of luck to the rest of the season and beyond. Hornets fans, let's hear it for our seniors.
And with that, good afternoon to everyone tuning in tonight to watch the Hornets take on the Albion Brits. Today, as you can tell, is an especially great day to tune in and watch as we are celebrating all the seniors on the team. I mean, this is just a great day, right? I mean, the seniors have been so instrumental to like everything that this team is kind of standing for and running for right now. Seniors being Ellie Andrews, Mia Kreitz, Amelia Rooks, Elle Burness, Ani Schnell, and Allie Kemery. I mean, just that is such a big chunk of the team, right? Their impact is evident just from last year to this year. They have been able to, like, you have been able to, like, guide this team, and this is me talking to the seniors. You have been able to guide this team to kind of where it's at now, right? Last year ended in a 5-11-1. That was the whole season record, right? This year is already 9-3-2. That is already something remarkable to kind of give yourself an applause on, right? Last year, an influx of freshmen came in and kind of gave them that confidence to play with now, and now a lot of them are playing with a lot of poise, a lot of confidence, and I feel like a lot of the seniors can pat themselves on the back for that. But, you know, let me bring it back and reintroduce myself. My name is Maya Pasillas. I am the broadcaster for tonight. It has been a minute since I've been on the soccer broadcast for sure. I've been dabbling a lot in volleyball recently, so I am happy, very glad to be back on Mackenzie Field and watching this Hornet team. This was the team I started off with last year as a freshman, so I'm excited. I mean, any game that happens on Mackenzie Field, especially when it comes down to this women's soccer team, is always super interesting. I'm very sad that I missed the 7-0 win against Olivet, but I'm very excited to be here as I know any game against Albion, especially when it comes down to this women's soccer team, is one to watch. So thank you everybody for tuning in, and I hope I make it an enjoyable one as we're almost just about ready to kind of hear the national anthem and hear the starting lineups. So I will join you right after our PA announcer kind of gives that starting lineup and everything like that. And then we'll be right back on stream to kind of run you through the game, kind of give you my thoughts, and hopefully we'll have a special guest also jumping on stream with us later today.
Kalamazoo College, the MIAA, and the NCAA promote good sportsmanship by its student athletes, coaches, and fans. We request your cooperation in supporting the student athletes and officials in a positive manner. Profanity, derogatory comments, or other intimidating actions directed at athletes, officials, team representatives, or other fans will not be tolerated and are grounds for removal from the site of competition. Now for the starting lineups for today's match. First, for the visitors from Albion, coached by Ron Rainey. Number 0, Maddie Welsh. Number 2, Alyssa Williamson. Number 5, Kelsey Green. Number 7, Erica Fisher. Number 10, Cece Irwin. Number 11, Abby O'Connell. Number 12, Grace Halstead. Number 14, Mia Zarnowski. Number 23, Diane Hurtado. Number 25, Bella Fabrizio. And number 29, Chloe Salo. And now your starters for the Hornets, coached by Jill Leavenworth. First, number 0, Jess Forbes. Number 3, Maeve Nolan. Number 5, Maddie Miller. Number 7, Mia Kreitz. Number 12, Zelda Molitor. Number 13, Elle Burness. Number 18, Lexi Gross. Number 19, Izzy Castle. Number 20, Ruby Hogan. Number 21, Savannah Norman. And number 22, Ani Schnell. At this time, we invite you to stand for the playing of the national anthem.
Well, there you have it. That was your starting lineups for today. Again, the Hornets versus Albion College. A very exciting matchup, might I add. Last time I was here on McKenzie Field when these Hornets faced off with Albion, I believe it ended in a 4-0 loss. And I can tell you now more than ever that this Hornet team has completely turned around since last year in terms of just the fluidity on play, just how they're moving around the ball. Those tight passes have gotten a lot cleaner. And in terms of those playmaking abilities, well, everybody on that team has a little bit of a spark. Overall, I mean, the record against Albion stands as 34 wins, 15 losses, and then 9 ties. So that's another thing to keep in mind, okay? Can they kind of add to that record? Can they add to that win column? We're about to find out today as we're just waiting on the starting whistle here. And we might, I mean, this is even better. I mean, everybody just keeps getting luckier and luckier as it is 6:57 p.m. and we are timed here for a 7 p.m. whistle start time. So, I mean, I might want to knock on wood, but it's looking like we might start on time here, maybe even early. Again, a lot to consider when kind of watching these two teams face off. Both, I mean, took a look at their records, all right? And as for this season, not a lot of comparable matchups that they've had so far. But in terms of, like, maybe a team that they've both played, well, they both beat, get this, they've both beat Olivet 7-0. So sometimes there's not a lot of information you can grab from a win like that, but you can say that both teams are particularly strong this year. As we're just waiting for the whistle now, it's going to be Mia Kreitz to kick it off. Already sent forward. Kalamazoo team really big on using the flanks. And you'll see them as they come down on this left flank here. A little bit more dribble on the sideline. They're trying to make something happen early. And it looks like it's going to go out for a goal kick. At goal for Albion is going to be Maddie Welsh. She is a sophomore goalkeeper, 5'9" at the net. And now Albion trying to make something happen on their own there, but it was Chloe Salo who took a tumble there. Ani Schnell at the ball, trying to get some clearance here, and it's going to go out for a throw-in. But like I was saying, the Hornets do particularly well when they're able to kind of cook something up in the first 30-ish minutes here. So that's definitely something to keep an eye out as they try to work up these flanks a little bit more. I'll try to keep an eye out for the formation that they're playing here, but particularly keep an eye on number 5, Maddie Miller, who seems to be pushing forward. Could be an early run. And it looks like that was the idea there as Miller was kind of staying low. And it's just going to roll out and run out of room here. It's going to be another throw in. This time Ruby Hogan takes the toss. Tosses it in. And that's one that you're going to see often, right, to El Bernis. El Bernis, another star to keep your eyes on this field. Don't let her get away from the screen for too long, because trust me, she'll make you pay for it. A good takeover, kind of lower into the Kalamazoo half here. And it's going to be pushed out again for a throw-in, this time awarded to Albion College. Erica Fisher, number 7 here. Ruby Hogan was at the end of that, and it's going to go right back out. Fisher's going to get to do it twice. Now it's going to be up to these kind of toss-ins that are more 50-50. Can Kalamazoo win it? Or just like that, from that back row, can you win that ball and send it forward? There wasn't a run there, but keep an eye on Maddie Miller again. The way she made her way up that field so quickly, we are going to get a whistle call here. And it's going to be to the benefit of the Hornets as Ani Schnell takes a step behind the ball. And you know Ani Schnell has quite a leg on her. This is going to be a good set-piece opportunity for them if they can kind of convert this into a goal-scoring opportunity. This is a little far out for a front-on attack here, but Ani Schnell goes deep. And you got to hold your breath a little bit as that one almost sneaks into the back of the net. Welsh there trying to do her best to keep her hands on it. It almost slipped through. I mean, it just looks like any time I start to doubt the power behind Ani Schnell, I said it was a little too far for an upfront attack. Well, she went ahead and did so herself there, almost making this score 1-0. And now Albion's going to be at a little bit of a scramble here, which is going to lead it to a takeover by Ani Schnell. It gets pushed forward now. El Bernis behind the ball, trying to work on the flank here. She sent it towards the middle, unable to connect with Miller there. And they're playing by the line. Ani Schnell able to keep it in. Schnell sends it and didn't go over the line there. There was no whistle. And that has to be, you got to get a microscope for that one. I mean, I got to say, I just had organic chemistry lab today, and I got to tell you, you got to take out some type of microscope, whatever you can take out to look at how close that was to getting in. Ani Schnell has such a vendetta today. She has a goal, and she wants to get it. I mean, that one, she has to win it back, right? I mean, it just feels like a matter of fact at this point as she almost sneaks another one in. Well, it's at her feet again, and it was taken over by Albion. Now we got a little of a late run. It was Kelsey Green behind the ball before it went out there. It's going to be a throw-in for Albion. So there you go. That's a little bit of the magic Schnell, one of the seniors on the team tonight, can create. Already doing her job. Had 2 goal-scoring opportunities, one of which, I might add, I thought was for sure not going to be a goal scoring opportunity, right? Almost to the midfield point. She sends it in. Thought it might have been a cross, but I mean, she really tried to sneak it into the back of that goal. And now we got a little bit of a tussle going on at the top of the box towards the corner. You got a hand up for Albion, but it's going to be awarded as a goal kick for Jess Forbes. Forbes, the sophomore at goal for the Hornets. She has majority of the starts this season. I believe about 10,000 minutes already, which is increased from her last year role where she was kind of sharing time with last year's senior goalkeeper, and now Forbes has taken the role head on. She has done a phenomenal job so far this season and in MIAA play as the Hornets are 3-0-1. And now another Albion toss in. Little bit of scramble there at the top, but it's going to be balls like those that if the Hornets can win over, is going to be tremendous if they try to take the win. A good takeover there. It was kind of a half throw yourself, half dive there by Maeve Nolan. Nolan, who I want to note, she, next to her name, is midfielder, forward, and a defensive back. That is 3 positions under Maeve Nolan's name, and she can play all 3 well. So keep an eye on her because she adds so much flow to this team as she's able to kind of transition to that midfield. And a good takeover now by Elle Burness, I believe. Albion now trying to cook something up. The Brits push forward up the field. Ani Schnell there to save the day. She breaks up the run. She sends it into the midfield forward there, and it's going to be Welsh who comes out of goal and puts her hands on it. Stopping play. But there, a good up the field takeover. Savannah Norman trying to make something happen, but Welsh is doing well to put an end to it. So already seeing a lot of work at the goal here for Albion as Welsh takes a dive. Able to stop any type of goal converting attempt there. And I'm still trying to pick apart here as it's pushed up the field. A good opportunity for Elle Burness that just dies out, but it is going to end in a corner opportunity now. It's going to be Savannah Norman at the corner to take it for this Hornet side. Every Hornet almost kind of really pushed towards the middle of that box. He got a late run at the top of the box as well. Who's it going to be? And they target the back row, Ruby Hogan. Albion trying to clear. A really good attempt to stop the clearage there was number 7, Mia Kreitz. And let me take a moment to highlight Mia Kreitz. Last year, I knew she was special just when I had just first seen her play for the first time. I mean, the way, the grit that Mia Kreitz brings to this team is crazy, for lack of better words. She is moving all types around the field. You will see her when she's supposed to be playing either midfield or forward. You'll see her all the way back. You'll see her all the way forward. It does not matter. She is where she is needed as Maeve Nolan tries to kind of take over the Albion possession now. Ani Schnell pushing back. You got a late run here and nicely defended and kicked to the outside. Did so well enough that it's going to end in a Hornet goal kick. But as I was saying, Mia Kreitz defensively so strong, brings so much grit to the team. And you can tell, I mean, she is winning balls all over the field that just benefit this Hornet team to the max. And Maeve Nolan went flying there, but it is going to be a foul against the Albion side. Handing possession to Ani Schnell again. And just the way everybody backs up when Schnell's behind the ball, you know she's going to send it, and does. Tries to head behind her was Elle Burness. They were unable to kind of convert that idea. Really long run back on the Hornet half. And it's out for a Kalamazoo throw-in. I mentioned the Hornets are 3-0-1 in MIAA standings, right? They took a 2-0 win against St. Mary's and then a 2-1 win against Adrian. So in terms of MIAA play, the Hornets have been doing a really great job this season as in getting their wins. As this one's going to come out for an Albion throw-in. Savannah Norman tried to see it out. Maybe try to keep it in, unable to. Fisher with the ball. Tossed in, fell to the feet of Schnell. Albion still with possession, trying to work the flank now, and it's going to be an offsides call. And in case you're a little new to soccer, an offsides call, that is just when the opposing team is behind the defensive players of the Hornets. So if Albion's forwards start kind of trailing behind our defensive back, that's when the offsides call will happen and the ball is played in that direction. Another throw in here for Norman. Strong toss in. Ruby Hogan tries to keep it in, unable to, as it just takes the wrong deflection off the head. She tries to argue that it was Hornet ball, but the officials know a little better. And now it's pushed up the field against the Hornets. Albion trying to make something happen. A hard shove there from Izzy Castle. But that's something that you got to bring to the field, right? You got to be a little bit aggressive when handling the ball. You can't just let easy takeovers happen or anything of the sort. So Castle with the right idea there. It was just a little bit too much, and they got the whistle call for Albion. And this gives a fresh opportunity to the Brits here as they set up their wall, they set up their players. There's the whistle. Sent right at Forbes, and it looks like the Brits try to respond to that Schnell set piece earlier. Forbes handling it with poise. But that's kind of what these rivalries mean, right? I mean, you get to respond back and forth. This is healthy competition. As now a good spot for a Hornet throw-in. Norman tosses it in. Ruby Hogan passes it back. Takes a couple of juggles before it comes back to Norman. Norman really quick on her feet. Tries to overtake. Almost does. And it's going to be a foul call awarded to Norman just outside of the box, I believe. And that is just great positioning for a foul call. Norman doing a really good job of kind of getting herself into that situation where she can get that foul call. Can they make something happen here as the Hornets set up for this very close, a little awkwardly placed kind of set piece here? It's going to be Ani Schnell to take it. As the crowd gets a little quiet, Ani Schnell, 2 really close attempts earlier. This time she opts for an assist. Almost bounced back in at the top of the box there. But they were unable to convert at that set piece opportunity. It was Savannah Norman who was waiting at the top of the box, and they were just almost able to kind of get that deflection back into the goal. But again, that opportunity starting from Norman, just really pressing that back line. And that's something that's going to be another thing to write down. is how good is that Kalamazoo press tonight? Are they pressing defensively? How much effort are they putting to win those balls back? Norman with a Kalamazoo throw in. This time it falls to the feet of Albion. Sent to the back here. Green had it with her on her feet, and now it's back over to this Kalamazoo side. Norman kind of takes a miscalculated step there, but it's still going to fall in her possession. Norman sends it forward to Ruby Hogan. She has a little bit of work to do as she has 2 defenders on her. She tries to make a deflection, go into a corner kick there, unable to. And not sure if they're going to award a corner. And they do. So Ruby Hogan doing her work there. You seen she knew it was 2v1. She opted to kind of go for the deflection. Excuse me, not a corner. It was a throw-in. At the top of the box, she goes low. Just not enough on it to surprise Welsh in goal there. Welsh able to get down low, scoop that one up. And that's that playmaking ability, right? You expected them to kind of maybe go a little bit more direct into goal, but they dish it out to the top of the box. And it was Maeve Nolan there, waiting, lurking, just not enough on the shot. Welsh now with an opportunity to show off her leg, opts to go short. Now a little bit of a tumble in the midfield. Tap on the back, making sure the Albion player's all right. And it looks like they're going to send this one as up the field as they can. And do. This time, both players running to the corner, trying to make something happen. Good defensive effort, but Albion trying to give a little bit more. It goes out for an Albion throw-in in a good position. The Hornets have to be wary. It's going to go out again for a Brit throw-in. They go short. A lot of work to do. And it goes out again now for a Brit corner. So they work their way up to get this throw-in opportunity into a corner opportunity. The Brits trying to convert here. It's a nice, good-looking assist here. Doesn't make it to the back of the net. Can they clear? The Hornets able to push it into the midfield a little bit more.
All right, have I chosen a good time here, Maya?
Oh, 100%. I did already talk to the people. I said there might be another one joining us tonight. You have chosen a great time.
Well, go ahead and fill me in, huh? What did I miss? And tell all the people at home.
Well, you know, just a lot of back and forth so far, and that's what to expect when you're seeing the Hornets kind of go against this Albion team, right? Just a lot of kind of battling it out in the corners so far, though. The Hornets doing a really good job of utilizing those flanks, kind of getting those set-piece opportunities. Ani Schnell, a really important senior to keep in mind. She already had 2 opportunities. She took a shot from the midfield, and now working up a shot here at the top of the box. But she took a shot from the midfield, and it just, like, Welsh was barely able to keep her hands on it, and it just stayed out. But you had to get a microscope and make sure. I mean, those are the type of set pieces where you want to have that instant replay and kind of want to see, can we get a review? It was really close, but it was awarded a no goal there.
The VAR to see a shot down the line and just know once and for all on goal line calls when you got to go, I'm not quite sure. I'd love to see it again.
Yeah, 100%. It was kind of special to watch, especially after they gave the ball over to Schnell again, and she was almost able to convert twice.
You know I love Ani Schnell, and you know the reason why, right? The multi-sport athletes.
Oh, yeah.
An outstanding swimmer, too. And there's just so many that are absolutely notorious. This program just creates them, and then it takes them and it molds them, and they level up all the time. And I mean, we'll get to Ruby Hogan as we do like every single match because it just makes so much sense. Leading scorer on the basketball team and rebounder and this and that and the other. Who?
Yeah, there's a lot when it comes to Ruby Hogan, but I got to agree with you, right? It's the way that these seniors have, like, kind of developed throughout these 4 years that offers so much experience to the freshmen on the team. Last year, when there was an influx of freshmen, right, the team started to struggle, but I feel like these seniors from this year really stepped it up this season, and now a lot of those last year freshmen are playing with a lot of poise. You got Maeve Nolan on the field, right, a sophomore now, Forbes at goal, who's also a sophomore, so a lot of those last year freshmen are playing with a lot of confidence now, and you got to give credit to the seniors a little bit as they're able to kind of show them the ropes and kind of show them, hey, you know what? This is how, as a team, we function. This is how, as a student athlete, you survive. And now they've kind of gotten to that end of that 4-year journey. So something bittersweet, but really something to be proud of if you can get yourself through 4 years of not only being a student, right, which already half of the population can't get to that step, but then to go on and double it and become a student athlete. Now that's something to give yourself a pat on the back for.
And how about flipping this program around? How about missing the tournament last year? There's all of this, upheaval. There's the departure of Coach Brian Goins. There's new Coach Joe Leapforth in here, and nobody knows exactly how those coaching philosophy changes and the day-to-day changes of how they manage their lineup and all that are going to change. And last year you said, man, this team has a little bit too much talent to be missing the tournament, and they went 5-11 and all that. And then forget about that. That's all out the window. Now they're thinking, okay, we can be the best team in this league.
Exactly, and they're playing like it. I mean, just in this game, already a complete turnaround. I believe the last time they met Albion, it was like a 4-0 loss. And this is already so much different. Like their pressure, the press that they're putting behind the plays, kind of the playmaking ability has also upgraded a little bit as you're seeing them kind of form more. Okay, you can kind of see their connections now. They're going to the flank, then up the middle, then to the top of the box, and then they kind of go for that finishing third, that goal, right? So all we're waiting for now is kind of for that converting last finishing step, right? Can they get it in the net? Well, we still have yet to answer that question.
All right, have you already prognosticated, pontificated, have you taken a guess at who is your first scorer to crack the board?
You know what? I waited for you to come on for that because I know that's something that we always kind of talk about and give it a second. I will say usually the person that I'll go to is probably more likely Ruby Hogan just because that is where they kind of dish out more of their services to. Mm-hmm. However, in terms of it being senior night and all, I do want to say that someone that just looks like she has it written down that tonight she needs one is Ani Schnell. I mean, she is in that back. She's not even in the front. And the way that she's had the most opportunities so far just goes to show how determined she is tonight. So I am looking for Schnell to get one in tonight. Also, maybe I would also throw in the Maddie Miller, the freshman, number 5 at the top of the 3 forwards.
And oh boy, the keeper Welsh just paid the price to stuff that, and I think she might get an injury stoppage.
Yeah, you kind of have to after that challenge. It was all 50-50 chance there, and when you have those 50-50 chances, both players are going to give it their all, right?
Yeah, you saw Welsh in real limited minutes last year, and they kind of tried, 4 or 5 different options in goal. Now they still continue to work through, I believe you got 4 different keepers that have taken some time in net, but yet Welsh is undeniably the starter, and you started all the matches so far, yet still played under 50% of the minutes. That's kind of how dominant that they've been. When you see yourself with, the 3-0s and the 4-0 leads, and when you start the second half, you think, oh, well, maybe we can give her a little bit of time off and get somebody else in.
Yeah, overall, they're at an 8-3, right? They have 8 wins on the season, 3 losses. So that's already something where it's like, okay, they're kind of coming into these matches and coming out with W's. So the Hornets kind of have to answer that question of, okay, who do we need to stop? Which parts of this Brit team do we need to break apart? And I'm sure they went all over that because they're playing really well tonight as they kind of try to push forward here. Taking a tumble, but still providing that late run. More flank work, and that's another thing that I mentioned earlier is just how often the Hornets use those flanks They'll dish it out to the corners, but particularly tonight, they'll dish it out to the corners, look like they're setting up like in a cross service, then actually go out to the top of the box. So that's another thing. Looks like they're trying to sneak either one low at the top of the box. They've done one low and they've done one high. So I would see a repeat. I would expect to see a repeat in that play.
Now, the last Kalamazoo round of subs did see Ali Camery come on. I was going to say, that might be my wild card if I'm throwing out who we might be looking at for the first goal scorer. But if I am pontificating, give me El Burness. Still the active leader in goals here in Kalamazoo. 16 of them, 6 on the year. It's always the physical prowess as much as it is the striking ability or the foot skill that makes me think, yeah, El Burness can score from anywhere at any time against anyone.
Oh, 100%. El Burness just brings a lot of spark to the team, right? And it's kind of like, you know, I always try to kind of compare, you know, the different sports here, but in volleyball, it's like, okay, how much can we mix up our plays? El Burness kind of brings that factor. She brings up, okay, you know, you can give it to her down low, you can give it to her up high. She'll work for the ball in the corners. So she just brings that spark to this Hornet team as well. Just something to keep in mind when you're seeing her play on the field. As a good takeover was from Schnell there. She's going to kick it out for an Albion throw-in.
Schnell's got that physical presence of kind of bullying people. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, and I talked about how you need that aggressiveness, right? And something about, in particular, about the women's game is that I feel like that aggressiveness comes in, and yet, you know, the whistle call rate is probably a little bit lower than the men's game.
Yeah, you know, if there's ever an evening that you have to let the girls play, this is the evening. I mean, it's 2 very good scoring attacks. We already know that. You're talking 3 goals a game, I believe, on the Albion side. Kalamazoo can score it from anywhere, too. They've got a whole lot of different options. But, of course, you know the top ones. You're talking Maeve Nolan and El Burness and Ruby Hogan. We should, oh, my goodness, I was going to say be in for some fireworks.
Yeah.
I didn't mean like that. Ouch.
A little bit of conversation with the official there, but Ruby Hogan is back up and standing. But, I mean, hey, if anybody's going to try to go for after that one like that, it's going to be Ruby Hogan as she collides into the goalie Welsh there. Again, Schnell doing a really good job of kind of overtaking those midfield passes.
If I were giving a top 3, I think Savannah Norman might crack that top 3. You know, as she's been more of a distributor, she's got fantastic vision. She moves it well, and the passes are on time and on target. Maybe it's one where, okay, actually, we're drawing this one up to get to Norman somehow.
Yeah, and I see your point there because Norman was, and this was earlier before you joined, but she was sitting as a late run into the box earlier on this corner kick, and she almost had the deflection back into the goal. It did go kind of wide and long, but other than that, the idea was there. So it's just kind of like I keep mentioning, it's that finishing third. Can they finish? Can they kind of close that one little gap and get it at the back of the net as they work down the flank here? More one-on-one. It's a lot of those one-on-one competitions on that corner there. Norman now trying to get possession. Falls to the feet of Schnell. Ruby Hogan gets denied. Sent back here. And this is how a lot of the Albion kind of attacks end up here in this midfield. They'll push forward, and then look at that. The amount of Hornets that fall back, they fall back quickly, and that's to the benefit as they try to regain possession here.
Boy, to see this team retreating at all is almost kind of stunning on any single possession. I mean, again, the 3 goals per game already so far. And, you know, yes, you get that non-con start, and you never know what you're going to draw in the non-conference. But then you get to the MIAA play, and you say, oh, we're playing Hope. Oh, we're playing Calvin. Those teams are in danger of being, you know, nationally ranked all the time. And, oh, now we're playing Kalamazoo. They're 3-0-1. They're shutting everybody out here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, that's what I'm saying, though. This team has, from last year to this year, the changes that they have made are it's just really huge, right? In terms of how they're playing, how much effort they're putting into winning every one of those balls. You can really see it out in the field. So a lot of positive changes for this Hornet team.
And speaking of seeing it out in the field, I saw Norman get tripped up there by 7 Erica Fisher. And I thought, okay, so maybe I'm not crazy. Maybe I'm not just seeing things, and there is more room for Norman to get some real attacking touches.
Yeah, and that's a matchup that's probably going to be up all night today. Fisher and Norman have been head-to-head so far in this first half.
And it's Schnell right back for Norman, right? You're seeing what I'm seeing.
And that was just one of their better put attacks here as they go 1v1. Tries to sneak it into the back of the net, but it was cleared.
Man, you had 2 fantastic defensive plays. That first that Kemery wasn't able to get up a shot on was maybe just as good of a look as it's down at the other end there.
Yeah, Lexi Gross doing a really good job of falling back quickly and clearing it out. You seen her take a tumble, but that was all effort. She clears and kills any chance for Albion to kind of take advantage of the transition play there. Ruby Hogan now trying to push up the left flank. It was cut off. So, yeah, they've been working that flank. And now a diving Forbis as she just tries to make sure there's no danger in that one. Forbis doing a really good job coming out of goal. Forbis probably one of the goalies that's really good on her feet as well.
Yeah, okay, but good off her feet, good to her left, her right, up, down, around and around, center, back. Like,
Yeah,
what do you want? What more could you ask of Jess Forbis is something that I have wanted to ask for quite a while. And this Albion team comes in scoring 3 goals a game, and they have every reason to think, okay, again, they can challenge the Hopes, the Calvins, and Forbis is shutting them out so far.
Yeah, and I mean, it's just when all the pieces are coming together, it's kind of where you see this team come in really strongly, right? You said Forbis is really backing them up there at goal. Well, Chanel right there, I mean, you seen her put all that effort just now as it went out into the side, and now it's going to end up as a goal kick for the Hornets. But she laid out for that ball. One thing she's going to do defensively is put her whole body out on the line. And now a little bit of work in the midfield for the Brits. And still pass back. Albernis up there at the top. Kind of mishandled by Motelier.
To think right now, would you have expected nearly 33 minutes in to see Kalamazoo with a 6-1 edge in the shots, knowing the kind of pace that Albion can hit?
No, and that's just what I'm saying, right? That's just that turnaround that I'm talking about. Is just how much they've kind of picked up that pace, that power, and that drive, right? And now they're here. I mean, it's just crazy as now really moving up the field here is Maggie Westra. Maggie still moving up. Dishes it out to Norman. And Hogan goes wide.
Yeah, it's a worthwhile turn from Hogan. Of course, you see what she saw, and there was airspace to be had there. Would you rather that cross be a little bit tighter to the point that Norman can put up a shot?
Yeah, that is what I was going to mention, is maybe that cross just coming a little bit closer. If not, I would have liked to see Hogan kind of take an extra touch, settle the ball. Maybe she would have had a little bit more time and space to the left of the box rather than taking the immediate shot. But sometimes when you see that gap, when you see that hole in the net, you just get so excited, you got to let the shot off.
And Hogan being the leading scorer and all of her recent success.
Exactly.
And, MIAA Player of the Week. Remind me, was that last week?
I believe so.
Yeah, I think she had a 2-goal match sprinkled in there that I believe won her that award.
Yeah, and just 1 goal away from a hat trick, right? So that in itself is already wild. So really a lot of success from her throughout the season. It's, again, these puzzle pieces falling in place for the Hornets, right? Is their goal-scoring ability up to par with their defensive play? Well, I mean, I think for what this season has gone to show, yes, it's gotten to that point.
And there were questions about that last year, even when Jess Forbis comes in and all of a sudden, oh, wait a minute, she's shutting people out already. Wait a minute, she's the keeper kind of the future already.
And I'll tell you what, I know Forbis off the field, right? And she is the sweetest person you could ever talk to. Like, I'm talking like I almost had to ask her, are you, like, messing with me right now with how sweet you are? And no, like the way that she is on the field is like complete turnaround, right?
That was my question. Does she flip that switch?
She flips that switch in the sense that the opposing team has got to be a little bit nervous on if they can break that, right? If they can go into that net. Forbes just really handles her net with a lot of poise, right? She kind of stakes her claim, like, this is my area, this is my territory, I take charge of this. So, like I said, it's just complete opposite sometimes. When you meet her in person, you got to be like, is this the same goalie that is having these shutouts for this Hornet team? It makes
that
you
I'm
wonder.
seeing in class, that I see in the cafeteria, in the library, right?
As it falls in a dangerous spot here, the Hornets are going to have to clear. And still a little bit noisy at the top. It was half cleared. And now you can kind of see Norman kind of showing the signal to push forward up the field and get it cleared. It was a 50-50 ball there, still at the feet of Albion. And falling players everywhere. I mean, the turf is just not looking too sticky today.
That bodies are dropping.
And really good play there by Forbes, making sure that one was just not going to go crossbody. It goes into the bar, and it ends with a goal kick. So she did a really good job laying off there because she would have put her hands on that. That would have been a corner opportunity for this Albion team.
Yeah, instead, a little doink never hurt anybody.
And she does have the power here. She's going to show off her leg quite a bit. Something that Welsh has opted not to do so far. Welsh kind of taking shorter passes to her right and left. And that's the type of kind of winning the ball I've been talking about. The Hornets, I mean, when it's a 50-50 ball, some players just really try to opt, like, you know what, let me not go for it 100%. But the Hornets have been doing a really good job of just kind of getting in there and seeing if they can come out with the possession.
And you've seen all year long that they can turn the 50-50 through just that physical prowess, through all of the strength and agility and the conditioning, having the fresh legs and all that late in halves and things. You've seen they can turn that kind of into a 70-30 kind of ball, and then, well, you get a lot more scoring chances.
Yeah, and you got to give credit to, like, the after, off-the-field kind of training that they do in that weight room. And trust me, I'm walking past Anderson Building all the time, and you can see that they're always in that weight room. They're always trying to better themselves as players, and you can see that how they kind of translate onto the field as they win a lot of these 50-50 balls. They put a lot of effort. You talked about fresh legs later into the minutes. Well, some of these players who have been playing almost the whole 90 minutes are playing in those last 5-10 minutes like if they just got subbed on. So that's another thing that kind of makes it almost look easy for these Hornets. As now this trying to battle here comes out for an Albion throw-in.
So, gas tanks, right?
Yeah.
Coaches and players, they both refer to gas tanks, but those are measured not just in a half, not just in, say, a single run or possession or anything. They're kind of measured by weeks, months, full seasons even. Can you maintain or improve from the moment that you show up in fall camp to the tournament?
Yeah, and it's not even if physically they can maintain that, but mentally they're going to have to deal with classes. Right now it's week 5 midterms week, so it's like, can you handle that and still push forward in the season as you're in one of the most crucial parts of MIAA play? Is how do you continue? Like, I think that's something really crucial and something really special that all of these Hornet players have, is just how they can push themselves during tougher times like this. Now a little bit of back and forward. Ernest trying to win the ball there. It's going to go out for a goal kick. Welsh looks like she's going to dish it out. Not sure if she's going left or right yet. But just look at the high press that the Hornets are playing. Already have the players super close up the field.
Yeah, you want to talk about on their heels. A position where Albion's arguably not been almost at all this season, and now that's exactly what you're seeing.
Some work at the top of the box, and this one's going to go wide. Not a lot of opportunity behind that one. But, yeah, it's just – and that's probably one of the biggest topics that I talked about last year when we were broadcasting this Hornet team, is the press that they apply, right? Well, this time they can press as much as they want without it getting scary, right? sometimes the more pressure you apply against the team, the scarier it can get because you start playing a little bit more rush. You start doing a little bit more of those compact plays, which kind of opens it up to a little bit more mistakes, maybe mistakes in clearing, and then that leads in the opposing goals, right?
Giving up too many numbers, I think we saw a lot last year. If you look, and on one half of the field, you've just got way too many jerseys that are purple and not enough that are white. You say, it can't be quite right just by the sheer look of it.
Yeah, and that's something that's been different this year, right? You kind of feel like, oh, have these players multiplied? Are there more than 11 on the field?
Right, are you seeing like 18 on 11 kind of deal? Because there's just the individual efforts where they're winning and winning and winning in those one-on-one matchups.
Yeah, and you got to take a step back and kind of recount the players yourself, and then you realize, wow, it's just the presence that they're carrying, the pressure that they're applying that makes it feel like they're outnumbered.
I'm with you.
Chanel trying to push it forward. Cutler now. And it did look like it ricocheted off the hand. It is going to get the call from the official here. And you heard the whole crowd get behind that one. There was no trying to argue that call.
Yeah, so we've got several hundred, I believe, who are going to need, should they show up to the next match, to wear the neon.
Oh, yeah.
You and I think that's probably beside the dress code. We could talk, maybe.
Maybe we could
next
set
match out.
something up.
Yeah, see what we can do.
I gotta say, neon's not my best color.
No,
but
it's really not. Like, it doesn't fit with me, right? It'd be a stretch. We gotta take risks sometimes, but that's a big one, and a big collision there.
Yeah, but did you see the power behind Chanel's leg? I mean, that's what I'm talking about. That's kind of about the distance that she had in her first opportunity that I was talking about, where she almost snuck it in. She tried to chip it over the keeper, right, Welsh, and Welsh kind of had a mishandled the ball over the head, and then it went behind her, and everybody was wondering, did it cross the line? And no one could give a definite answer except the official saying no. So that was a pretty wild one to watch, but that's just the power that Chanel offers, as now she kind of has to do a late run here, trying to clear are the Hornets, playing up on the flank. Through the middle nutmeg, it's going to go out, though, and awarded to the Hornets.
Okay. Onomatopoeia, right?
Right.
A word that is a sound. Whoop!
Yeah, it was class right there, you got to say, right? Yeah, and so far, as that one's kind of just mishandled there, it's going to go out for a Hogan throw-in. But a lot of these battles, right, start from opposing ends, I've noticed. And even though you see them kind of run into the midfield, overall, majority of the battles are happening on the flanks. And both teams just really heavily using those flanks. Reminds me a lot of the U.S. women's national team and how they utilize their flanks most of the time. You won't see them attacking up and down the middle as much as they do the flanks.
Last Kalamazoo substitution on was Anna Courtney. And Courtney's one of those that they feel really comfortable in the rotation with. Hasn't cracked that starting lineup really the same way that a couple of other freshmen have, right? Zelda Molitor being one who we've kind of seen most of the season be a staple. But so many young players. Yes, the story is kind of already written about Ruby Hogan here as a junior. Yes, Elle Burness is one of the worst-kept secrets that this league's seen in the last couple of years and things like that. And Maeve Nolan, we know all about her. But a lot of freshmen and sophomores to really like for quite a while.
Yeah, and that was a nice idea up top there to trying to give a service to, looks to be Maggie Westra. And now the Hornets at the top of the box. Trying to call an offsides where all the Albion players, that they all had a hand up.
That was well coordinated. That seems as if they've practiced that one.
Yeah, and I almost fell for that one. Now we just have about a minute left. Can you believe it? In the half, it just feels like so much is going on that it hasn't felt like that much time. Now a top of the box opportunity gets denied. Still some struggle back and forth. Yeah, she had 4 Albion players on her. Courtney Cutler trying to make something happen.
And to finally end with a foul on her. Yeah, anticlimactic. But seriously, you're right. That's kind of a 4-on-1 with multiple chances in there and multiple shots up that were blocked. Wow. Still speaks to what a fantastic individual sequence it was from her. Hey, don't look now.
Exactly what you said. You have to hold your breath when They're able to take over the ball at the top of the box like that. A little bit more fancy footwork, trying to make this an opportunity. And there's the whistle for the halftime call. Take a breath.
Oh, you're telling me. And it was Burness who had the touch that scared me most. I thought if Burness collects that in full stride, forget about it. I thought Burness is going to be one-on-one and has all of this framework to pick wherever she'd like on it. Not to be, but that's a really good, encouraging last 30 seconds or so on attack.
Exactly, and that's exactly how you want to end out the half, right? If you can't end with a goal, you want to end it on an opportunity that looks like, hey, we're going to come back and we're going to start the half exactly how we want it to start, right? In terms of possession, I mean, as you're watching with me, Tanner, you got to say it kind of looks like a pretty good split in possession, right? A lot of the Hornet and Albion's going back and forth. No one really able to hold it for too long. But when you look at shots on goal, Kalamazoo has 5 and Albion only has 1. So in terms of defensive plays, Kalamazoo's doing their job in stopping anything from getting too dangerous, right? Just looking at those. And in corners, Kalamazoo outweighing Albion to 1. So not a lot of corners on the game. Overall shots, I mean, 9-2. So a lot of calls here and there. But in fouls, you got 8 foul calls for Kalamazoo and 6 for Albion. So that's that aggressive play that we were talking about, is how they're kind of pushing forward. And then shots faced for our keepers, it was 9 for Albion and 2 for Kalamazoo. So another outweighing number there is just how much work Welsh is getting at that net and how kind of scary it was towards the first opening minutes for Welsh, as she was kind of putting an onslaught of just Hornet players back after back after back. Tanner, anything to finish us up here?
14 total fouls, that's a fun number. That's a number that keeps it spicy, that keeps it entertaining, that lets everybody know. You got to stay glued for an entire 45 minutes coming up after this. We would love to get somebody to crack the scoreboard. We'll say just that much. There are opportunities to be had on both sides. 2 outstanding goalkeepers, 2 great goal-scoring teams. So is something going to budge somewhere? Well, we'd love to see it.
And you're going to find out in just under 13 minutes. So don't go anywhere. And we'll see you for the second half. Really, you're not going to want to miss it.
single fan. Nobody like quote unquote tailgated. And concessions going. Any of this stuff. Like extremely strange show. And then I get in there and the PA announcer was like, yeah, I'm not sure if this is gonna work. Like, we're so cool. Like, yeah, I'm not sure if this is gonna work. Like, sit so close to each other. He's like, so if you're gonna be able to hear us, if you're able to hear you on our microphone and all that. I'm like, oh, there's only one place. Yeah. There's only one power group, like, in the entire kind of like other soccer complex there. Like, this is the PA competition. Yeah. So, I just get into it. Told me exactly what I was gonna say. And then the league meeting started. The men's league meeting was 4:30. So I told the commissioner, I was like, dude, the 5 minutes, that's the best I can do. And I had already created all the streams and scheduled them, made posts for thumbnails and all that. I really got to do a lot of stuff on the website. And I was like, I need the first 5 minutes of the video to explain exactly how people are going to use our YouTube channel. And then I got to go. And then he waits 5 minutes after the meeting starts to just like take a look and make sure people are there. I'm like, dude, I need 5 minutes. And then finally, 4:35. Okay, clearing you up. Like, stream and stuff. I did that. Like, just spent that like 5 minutes, said everything I had to say. Flip that meeting off, and then get ready to get my thoughts on my phone. Top for my phone.
That is stressful. Like, I would literally be like so stressed out trying to deal with all that.
Well, it's all like unrelated stuff. It's not like one single issue. It's like, okay, put your hair on the leg and one straight. How was, have you seen the, what's the new Super Bowl? I watched it too.
The new one?
Yeah. Lex Luthor was, Jesse Eisenberg. Not Man of Steel. Genesis probably Man of Steel. But anyway, the meme from it where he goes like,
Oh, okay.
he's just maybe punching in the face.
Yeah.
That was me. Like, I'm back on the game and just, what?
That's crazy though. Actually, I would have been stressed out. No, that's good, yeah. Well, I was gonna say, yeah, I feel like we can continue switching off with play calls just because sometimes like I'll go quiet, like how we've been doing. I feel like it's fine.
You can honestly do
Yeah, well, I've been doing, but the only thing is for some reason I just cannot see the other numbers as clearly. So if you see it before I can call it, just say because my eyesight I guess is just not up to par for that yet. Okay. Alrighty, alright. Alrighty, and just like that, we're back for the next 45 minutes of Hornet Soccer against the Albion Brits. And in case you're just joining us, I mean, it is a 0-0 scoreboard, but you did miss a little bit in terms of crazy shots, crazy almost goals. I mean, just a lot going on, and we are excited here. I mean, Tanner, you're excited, right?
Yeah, what you mean is it's not a 0-0 feel. It is an explosive feel, and there's just more to be had on either side. I think we both kind of feel that. And we kick off for half number 2.
Yeah, definitely how you were saying. I just feel like there has to be more to this game than just what is showing on that scoreboard. It has felt crazy for the seniors as well. Again, a reminder that this is the senior night game, and we are celebrating the amazing seniors on the team, that being Ellie Andrews, Mia Kreitz, Amelia Brooks, Elle Burness, Ani Schnell, and Allie Camry. All of them, so far, with the exception of Amelia Brooks, have played on the field tonight. So a lot of positives tonight. Ani Schnell really, really getting involved with a lot of the goal-scoring opportunities so far tonight. And now Forbes is going to get a chance here to send it out into the midfield. Something that Forbes does often. She doesn't really opt to go short many times. She will send it into that midfield and try to set the Hornets up on that forward foot, try to get any goal-scoring opportunities in the running.
All right. We're not supposed to say that word. It's like the no-hitter in baseball when somebody's working on the real good start that looks all promising. But when you glance for the whole season numbers and when you see everything that Jess Forbes has done from the moment she took over in Cage here, wow, the shutout potential is always there. Has 7 of them this year with 8-2 and 1 record.
Yeah, again, I mean, we're going to sit in it for a little bit and see what happens, but that's just always something that you keep in the back of your mind no matter who you are, where you are, right? Especially with Forbes at goal. The only thing I feel like these players probably are battling a little bit more than they were battling in the beginning of the season is probably just being cold. And as funny as that sound is, like, can they kind of maintain that warm, like, the colder you are, the slower you are, I would say, in terms of, like, those reaction saves, in terms of those quick 1-2 passes, is how cleanly can you get that done while being cold? Well, the answer is not as well when you're warm. So this is something a little bit different. They're dealing with a little bit different temperatures now as it's getting a lot cooler into the season. So something that you're definitely going to want to keep your eye on, as you got a little bit of a run going on for Kelsey Green, who was working up that flank before it went out there. It's going to be a throw-in now. And just tossed in very close there. Broken up by the Hornets. Bernice trying to get her foot onto it. And that's, something to keep your eye on. I mean, when is Bernice not someone to keep your eye on, though, right?
Uh-huh. You've got more options on this Kalamazoo attack. Oh, it didn't end with a cross as you would have loved to see it. It was Norman Wright that carried that all the way up.
Yeah, Norman, again, really big tonight on working those flanks. She's been 1v1 with Fisher most of the night. But Norman getting a lot of success going up that flank right there. Doesn't end how it usually does. And now you got the freshman Maddie Miller kind of battling it out before she dishes it across court here. Working at the corner, top of the box, a little bit of a tumble. You kind of have your hands up in the air. Norman kind of wondering where the whistle was that whole time. I got to agree a little bit. It was kind of a little bit of pulling around. I think maybe if she, and this is like maybe the theatrics of it more, right? But maybe if she would have thrown herself, you think maybe you would have got that call.
Yeah, well, the calls are probably coming out at the proper rate so far. When you looked at that 14 total fouls, it was 8-6 Kalamazoo. Well, you had to say something, so naturally you're going to have one more here. It's probably at the proper rates because the chip does come out a little bit. The scrap does come out a little bit. The tighter it goes, the longer it goes before anybody can score, yeah, we might see more of that.
Yeah, and I got to agree with you, right? I mean, both teams just really showing a lot of grit tonight. So it's when they come and kind of clash like that, the official has a really unique job of being like, okay, which calls are enough to call? Which ones do I let slide so I can continue the flow of the game without having to call every 2-3 minutes? And this one's crossed into the top of the box. Looks like it fell onto the head of Bernice. Now trying to track it out. And that's something like that. I mean, even though that ball was way out, right, of the reach of Bernice, I mean, the way that she was still running full speed down, I mean, down the field is just wild sometimes.
I mean, I kind of want to say, is it though?
That's, you never know what type of deflections. Now Hogan goes flying. It's going to be a little bit too much. It's going to get the foul call to go in Albion's favor.
Yeah, so you see about the whistles, right? It makes sense, the numbers that we're seeing on the fouls, and those are going to keep creeping up there. Kalamazoo in the double digits, and probably fairly so, and probably for good reason. This is what happens in October. It's for sure what happens in November when you start to get, through your conference tournaments and into the national tournaments, and, ooh, that just gave me chills, but
yeah,
all of that.
It's not chills just because it's cold here. I
mean, not at all.
In general, and like you were saying, the foul calls, I feel like, are only going to start. We're going to start hearing that whistle a little bit more often as it gets into the later minutes of this game. Both teams are going to start getting desperate for that goal. Maddie Miller pushing up the flank now. Doing well to track her down was Williamson. Now some back and forth. Bernice trying to work the line. And does. Overtakes one. Was beat there by the goalpost. Sent up to the top of the box. Schnell trying to do something. Sends it long. Right into the hands of Fisher. Welsh. And that one right there, I mean, it stopped my train of thought, right? I mean, that one, it confuses you almost as a broadcaster where you're like, if anybody's going to take that shot from midfield it's going to be Schnell.
Man, that's one of the better struck of recent memory here on the MAC. This is a team that has been great at scoring, right? You've had 2 goals a game on average. That's a great number. And, of course, here at home, been a whole lot higher, right? You've seen a couple of 4-0 absolute whoopings that they've given out here. The striking, though, maybe is sometimes leaves more to be desired because they do so well in real short areas, really on the doorstep. They're so quick that they can really shrink that space and get great shots. That was a fantastic strike.
Yeah, that means Schnell again. That was like the 3rd time, I think, tonight so far that Schnell has kind of taken that type of strike where it's almost like, look at the power behind her leg, you know? And now Albion trying to make something happen, working the left flank. Still 1v1 there. A good sliding tackle. Trying to see which Hornet exactly that was. Well, it ends in an Albion toss-in now. It's a good position to do so. I mean, sometimes the tosses from that area can turn into a set piece almost, depending on who's throwing it. This one comes out again. Albion's going to get to do it twice.
And you do see a lot of differing styles of throw-in, right? Some are going to take the little one hop that we've seen there. Some are going to go overhead and put as much height on it as possible, whether or not it's particularly thrown hard. Some are going for the furthest total distance, so you'll try to get sort of like a 45-degree release where you can really see that max travel in the air. And, yeah, then that creates different options for you. It creates different movement. Everybody around the ball can work off of it.
Yeah, different pace, different powers. I mean, sometimes it doesn't have enough on it to do a header, but maybe you can chest tap it down to your feet, and then you have a different play at your feet, right? Well, this one, they try to work up the flank again. I'm going to keep saying it over and over again, but these teams really heavy on using these flanks. You won't see a lot of them go up the middle, but when they do, it gets dangerous, kind of like Schnell. Good takeover there by Maeve Nolan. Nolan now trying to send it up forward. I think it was intended for either Burness or Westra, and neither of them kind of made that long run. Well, that's the type of idea that you kind of would hope that doesn't fizzle out as often, right? Maeve Nolan retook possession of the ball in a really great position, had a lot of space in front of her, sends it up the field, and there was no run to kind of connect with for that.
At any time you'd like it, I've got the volleyball update for you.
Oh, you can, you know what, as they're here in the midfield, you can go ahead and give us the volleyball update.
Yeah, you know something, I figured that this might be a good time. The Kalamazoo volleyball team just had a very strong set against Hope in the second. It's a nationally ranked Dutch team, as it so often is, right? You're talking 12th in the national rankings, and we know what they do each and every single year. Trailing now in the 3rd set. Hope did take the first 2, 25-14, but that second one, again, a whole lot closer, 25-22. And in the 3rd set right now, the Dutch 15-7 holding the lead, looking to sweep Kalamazoo there. It really helped for the Hornets to get that Alma win, the conference win, the first one, and to do it at home for Coach Andy Phelps. That was all fantastic. But there's other incredibly good teams. That's kind of the theme, right? In a number of the women's side, especially of the MIAA.
Yeah, and just because I can dish out a lot of knowledge on that Hornet volleyball team, I mean, the fact that they were able to get that close on the second set is pretty remarkable, too, as I've noticed kind of throughout their games, they kind of tend to kind of fizzle out in that second set. It gets really hard, and then they'll kind of clean it back up in the 3rd set. But there you go, a little change in behavior as they kind of try to almost win that second set. One here, you know, back on the field at Mackenzie Field.
Oh, yes, soccer game, pardon us.
And this one's going to go out for a corner kick. And I believe this is only going to be the 2nd corner kick of the night for Albion. As everybody sets up here. Again, these can be a little bit more nerve-wracking as you get later into the game, because all of a sudden, these matter a little bit more. How many opportunities can a team take here? And the service is up. Really good defensive play there. They go low. And then you're going to get a whistle here for an offsides call.
Yeah, well, you heard it right first in the crowd. I think a number of the Kalamazoo back row kind of knew that too. They said, something doesn't quite look right here.
Yeah.
But so it does, as it were, kind of wave off a goal there, but it's a little bit of a delay probably in that whistle being blown in the first place on that offside.
Yes, and you know what? And it's kind of like the one small thing that I've always kind of wondered about soccer is even when I'm watching like the U.S. national women's team or the Mexican national team, I mean, when I'm watching them play soccer, I've noticed that whenever it comes to those offside calls, the calls can be so late after the play. Like, I'm not sure if it's like a rule that they have to wait until, the opposing player touches the ball, and then they can be like, oh, offsides. But that has definitely always become a point of frustration, you could say, for players when they think they're kind of on a good run, and then you hear that whistle just as you're about to strike. Then all of a sudden you're like, oh, my God, we got to start from point blank again.
Or worse, after.
Yeah.
Especially if it's waving one off. You cringe.
Yeah, that's got to hurt. Well, looks like Hogan trying to make something happen. It's dished almost to the middle of the box. It gets cut off there by Albion. Still more work to be done. Won over by, I believe, Schnell there. And it's going to go out for a Kalamazoo throw-in.
So you had the ceremony, right? Senior day. How was it?
It was great. I feel like games like today are just always so special. This one shot low and wide. Nowhere near the net there. But, yeah, it's just I feel like senior nights are just always so special, so bittersweet, right? You got to see, especially what I really enjoy is like hearing all the little snippets that the seniors give out about like what they're grateful of and like what they've enjoyed all these 4 years. Can't remember which one exactly, but one of the players was like, oh, I just want to say that out of all, players past and present, like this is the team that I want to kind of graduate on. And that,
wow.
I mean, that's got to be a tearjerker if you're like on the team, right? You got to you're playing with a different passion now because you're not just playing for yourself. You're not just playing for your parents. You're not just playing for different things like that. Now you're playing for almost everyone that you could think of, right? You're playing for your seniors right now, especially.
Shame on me for never having thought of that for my football senior day. But yeah, to recognize exactly what's going on your senior year, the environment, the culture that you've created. Imagine.
That, again, Schnell sitting at the top of the box, trying to get the deflection. So, again, something to keep your eye on. Well, it's resent in that direction. Goes over the head of Bernis. No one's on it. Back here, kind of Albion trying to work pass up the midfield. Westra trying to stop that. So now you kind of have these dangerous spots where takeovers like that really matter. Can they make something happen? Shot just wide and over the goal.
Oh, Norman would have brought the whole house down.
That would have been wild. Norman, I would have been gasping for air. And now, I mean, you look at 15 minutes have passed since the start of the second half. And still, yet it feels like, wow, it feels like we just started the half, right? It feels like there's just so much going on back and forth here as now the Hornets are going to get another opportunity to toss it in here. But just overall back and forth, and it really just feels like Schnell's playing a little bit different tonight. I know she's usually all over the field, but tonight especially, she's really getting behind the ball. Albion now trying to make a run up the field. Long service, and no Albion players were there. And it's going to fall to the hands of Forbes as she chooses to dish it out to midfield once again. Awkward deflection off the body of Ruby Hogan. Westra tried to get there, but now it falls to the feet of Albion. So now you get to the point where it's like, okay, who's going to stay warm? Who's still moving around the field? Who's still doing those takeovers as Bernis gets a call here, and it's going to go in the Hornets' direction. Kind of really strong throw in there, and we talked about all the different ways you can throw it in. Well, there you go. You seen one. That one looked like a bullet. Just clean. And another really good position to be in if you want to throw. And you can kind of see how they're setting up this play, right? This is more of a set piece than a throw-in now.
Yeah, you really see it with, again, the arc that's meant to create. You get multiple juggles to this. You don't get a foot on it, but if you do, yeah, there's a lot of turns that can be taken.
Yeah, and when you put effort like that, like Ruby Hogan just did, then you get corner kicks like we're about to see. So, more opportunities upon opportunities. But can they close in on them? That's the question. We're going to wait a service here.
I told you I like Burness.
Into the box. Schnell at the top of the box again. Decides to chip. And this time, Welsh is going to go up there and ease. Get her hands on it. And there's no confusing that one. I got to say, in terms of that first half shot from Schnell, where it kind of looked the same there when she was at the top of the box, imagine Schnell more towards, like, the nose of the Hornet logo. And then she just decides to do a bullet. A hard tumble now, and we got a player down for the Hornet side. And a yellow card being awarded.
Ooh, that was quick. Plus, you had the official immediately call the trainer out there. You don't always see that.
Yeah, not sure if it, sometimes, with injuries to the head, officials do immediately have to call for trainers. And that is Schnell, I believe, who just made her way to the sideline. Not something you want to see, especially on a senior night.
Well, there's always the match to get back to, but yes, it's a little something to think about. It's in the back of your minds.
Sent in. Hogan tried to get her head onto it. Burness was also there, but she would have been taking an earlier step. It would have been offsides there, so either way, a good attempt.
Yeah, I saw Burness bullying her way in there too, stepping through two clearly. A double mark is probably in order quite often, and how many times have we seen Burness for the last couple of years finish, it's headers, but it's everything else too that's anywhere near the doorstep because the physical prowess.
Yeah, Burness just really knows how to make her presence known in the box. I mean, every team has to be a little bit wary. Westra 1v1 here. It gets dished out to the midfield. Burness trying to track it down. Working up the flank in the opposite direction, but able to get the clearance was the Hornets. More work still to be done on both halves here. Neither team able to crack the scoreboard.
There is. Let's go a little bit deeper on Maddie Welsh. Kind of under fire, especially relative to what she's kind of seen this season. With the 11 shots for Kalamazoo, 6 of them on goal. The 4 corners, this, that, and the other. Hasn't really flinched.
Yeah, I gotta say, I mean, in terms of just that one shaky call in the beginning, this has been a really strong outing for Welsh in terms of how much this team can put that much trust into her.
4 shutouts of her own. Again, you hate to put carts before horses and all that kind of thing. But you've only been asked to make, coming into this evening with 11 starts, 16 saves. That's almost, it makes you gasp and recoil. You say, wait. She's facing 2 total shots a game because you got the 6 allowed, right? So 2 shots on goal faced per game. That sounds made up. That sounds like we, invented that, but that's what the numbers showed.
And a good takeover. Falls to the feet of Maggie Westra. And she tries to get the call. Unable to. It's going to go out for a Hornet throw-in. I mean, they just start to get dangerous when you're in the middle of a thought, right, Tanner?
Yeah, that's a risk that we run, of course.
This time a hard shoved onto Norman. No call again. But yeah, I 100% agree with everything you're saying, though, in terms of just all around everything. I mean, these players in general, though, tonight, again, it's been a minute since I've done soccer, so this is particularly fun for me right now because I haven't seen this Hornet team play in person as often as I wanted to. But just watching kind of movements here as Maggie Westra gets tripped up. And this time you are going to see a whistle and maybe a card. And there it is. Yeah, you had to call that one. That, I mean, was disruptive of a potential score playing run right there. I mean, you got to have to see the call for that.
but not quite a PK of, but 3 or 4 strides short of the PK.
And you
I thought that would have been juicy.
Yeah, and I almost want to say here, I would have liked to seen Schnell take this.
Mm-hmm.
But I know Hogan, you're not losing any options no matter who you choose, and Hogan right now is going to make it matter. They set up their wall as well as you can. Now you're faced with the decision. You go for the shot. And shot on goal! And there it is! Your goal for Ruby Hogan. First of the night. The Hornets are up 1-0. Can you feel the atmosphere?
There's a word that they say not so much around here in the States, but internationally, golazo!
Oh, yeah, you gotta say it. And right there, that was just clean. And you have to notice the pace and the power behind the ball because, to credit of Welsh, she had her hands on it.
Mm-hmm.
But the power was just too much to handle, too much sauce, you could say. And right then and there, Ruby Hogan shows why she takes those chance opportunities, why she is the one they trust for those set pieces. And there you go. The Hornets are up 1-0 against Albion.
And allow your stomach to settle because we understand that was disgusting.
Yeah, and did you see the whole crowd get up at the same time? That has to be just chills right there. Again, you're dealing with cold weather, but when you have this Hornet team just stirring up so many emotions, you got a lot going on. Well, Albion's trying to do their best to respond here, as that was a good-looking cross, but just not in the intended spot there.
I'm glad you mentioned emotion. It's a weapon. Whether you want to admit it or not, whether everyone feels that they need it or not, it can be weaponized in the crucial moments to sort of dig into the sports psychology of it. Those who have that switch, just as we talked about with Forbes earlier in goal where, oh my goodness, off the field, she is an angel. Those who have that switch, that killer instinct, like that shot from Ruby Hogan, that creates champions, that creates likely all-conference selections, that creates winners.
Yeah. You said it better than I ever could right there. I wish I had a replay right now and I could just watch that back. I challenge everyone later on, just go back and watch that one because that was just textbook clean. You almost thought it was a penalty shot, right? The way that she just shot that with so much confidence, it's almost like there was no wall in front of her. It
did have the feel of PK. And like you say, it's not even entirely top cheddar where it's kind of rattling off the top of the post there. No. It's just high enough, but scorched.
Yeah, that's the power that you got to talk about. That's that weight room that Hogan definitely has been putting in hours to. As now it's going to be another throw-in for the Hornets here. Dished out to the flank. A little bit more back and forth. This time Albion's able to clear. Just far enough to the logo, though. As it comes back to the top of the box. Byrne is trying to get her feet onto it and does. I think that pass was intended for Hogan, but it ends up going long. Now Albion trying to respond towards the midfield. A little bit more work in this midfield, and this is something that we've been seeing often. Something like that where the Hornets kind of win these takeovers, but Albion's able to come out alive. Still trying to work up that flank. Expect to see a cross. Well defended. It's going to go out for a throw-in. Sometimes it's just about choosing those battles, right? Because even when that's well defended, it's going to go out for a throw-in. Would you rather defend the cross or the throw-in? Well, I think a lot of the defensive players would probably say the throw-in, right? Because you got a little bit more time to kind of see where that's going, what's their intended play or anything like that, rather than a cross that can be hit with so much pace. And that throw-in was well defended. Now it's going to be Forbes with a goal kick. Ooh, I'm still not over that goal. from Hogan. I'm still thinking about that goal.
Yeah, that creates a core memory. It does.
Yeah, and it shifts all the momentum, right? I mean, it almost feels like that Albion bench has gotten a little bit silent since then, and it's only because, and it's not because they have, it's just because the Hornet bench has gotten that much louder.
Deafening, sure.
Well, now here looking for another opportunity. Could we see a cross into the box? It was denied there by Albion. More work. Schnell working now, trying to get past that first defender. Unable to. And you can see that Albion's kind of favoring that left side of the field. Maybe a little bit more success if they were to switch it up. Trying to break down this fort. And I got to say, I mean, this Hornet team is playing a little bit like the Japanese national women's team. And I'm not sure if you're familiar, but that Japan team plays like there's like 20 players on the field. They are known for their high press, their quick play. And that is how the Hornets have been playing for, I mean, since the end of that first half and a little bit into that second half. Is you were seeing that quick play, the way that they're able to kind of bunker down if they need to, but then break out of it for those transition plays. That's exactly the type of power that you need, the type of kind of score playing ability that you need to kind of take these type of shots and end up with opportunities like Ruby Hogan did.
Another note on that score for Ruby Hogan. She had already established the career high. That was 8 coming in. She's now got 9 of them. That still leaves her second in the MIAA in scoring. Mia Johnson of St. Mary's, who Kalamazoo's already gotten to see here, has a dozen in a dozen matches, has been out front the entire way.
And now Forbes sends it out to the midfield again, like she does so often. And it almost feels a little comforting when Forbes is able to just kind of send it into the midfield, give all her players a chance to breathe. Well, a good win there from the Hornets, but Albion able to break it up. Now finally working the right side of the field.
Ooh, 14 Sarnowski there is just tossed, and then I think got a shove on afterward. Did you see that?
Yeah, looks like it is going to warrant a conversation from the official just a little bit. Just be like, hey, you know, kind of keep your eye on that. Let's not do too much.
Maybe even just saying to her, I saw that.
Yeah.
I'll remember that.
And now you got to be a little bit careful when it comes down to later in the play, right? You don't want to just be giving up yellow cards left and right. So this is definitely something that you got to be a little wary about. Now Albion falls to a good spot. Forbes unable to get there in time, and it's going to be goal for the Brits.
All right, so we've seen the strikes on the Kalamazoo side. Chloe Sallow got one back of her own as it drifts to her as there's a little bit too much airspace. Even a flying Jess Forbes could not stop this. I suppose it's only fair.
Yeah.
That one great turn deserves another.
Yeah, and that right there, you got to give credit where credit's due. And just like you said, it was a good turn on the ball. You had a little bit too much space. You could say maybe defensively the Hornets got a little comfortable there and just gave her too much time on the ball, and there you go. They were able to convert, and now it's just back like those goals were never scored. It's a 0-0 game, basically. I mean, you gotta clean it up now. Both teams are going to definitely tighten up, play with a little bit more aggression as the time dwindles out, and they're going to want to lock in.
That now ties Salo and Claire Gorno as Albion's leading scorers with 7 apiece.
Yeah, now you got a couple subs for the Hornets. Maggie Wester's going to come back on.
Now we're getting that credited right now, actually. Well, over the PA, they said Diana Hurtado, and Hurtado herself had, I think, the assist is what I was looking at. That's what we got in our live stats, and I'm thinking that is right. Salo from Hurtado, 72nd, yes?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, Hurtado, just really good job, right, with the assist, kind of dished it out to Salo. So now you got something to keep your eye on, and it's going to be a whistle call here. And now every whistle feels a little bit heavier. As you're already under the 20-minute mark, you're going to want to get that goal back. All the Albion Brits now setting up like a set piece here. Top of the box. Little bit of back and forth. Westra tries to come in as a relief, unable to. Dancing around the ball at the top of the box. This time, cross. No one was able to connect there, but the idea was there. Still working the cross. Trying to make something happen. Goes through the feet of an Albion player there.
So as we are pretty certain that assist goes for Diane Hurtado, that's going to put her in sole possession of second place in the league in assists. Adeline Rad of Hope in first with 8 of them. And then Albion's own Bella Fabrizio down in third place there with 5 assists of her own. I mean, that's how you kind of become the best attacking team in the league and how you score 3 goals a game, right? Is you can get it from everywhere and from everybody to create.
Yeah, and it also goes down to how do you respond when you're scored on, and that is exactly what Albion did right here, right? It was Kalamazoo first to strike, but not long after, the Brits were able to kind of come back and score one of their own. So both teams really tense right now, are really going to probably put a little bit more scramble behind the ball. And now the Hornets are kind of working that top of the box. Albion able to regain possession, but not for long there. See, it's connections like that just not have been made on either side, where it's those quicker passes. Almost, I mean, would it be crazy to see a bicycle kick one of these days? That'd be wild.
Well, today, no. If you ask me on some, maybe a match in August in the very first week there, I'd say, what's there to lose? But crazy, no, absolutely not.
And yeah, and this one's going to go out for a corner opportunity for the Hornets. Again, not something really that Albion wants to give up, but the Hornets have yet to utilize these corners to their max.
All right. Take a look at Burness. You remember the last time I called one of these, Maya?
Yeah, and this time a whistle. And
yeah, Burness, I think. Was she the one caught offside? Now, who is it?
Not exactly sure there.
Somebody threw the hands up. Oh, in fact, it's Westra. I saw the blue cleats.
Yeah, and you kind of seen the official kind of give them a, oh, yeah, I got to call it, sorry. But out of all the corner kicks, that one probably had the best connection in terms of to a Hornet player in the box. And now Welsh trying to deal it out here. Welsh not quite into the midfield. Falls to the feet now of Maggie Westra to El Burness. Burness trying to turn around, unable to. Hogan now. And that was just a little bit of a miscommunication right there. Hogan thought the run was going to continue. Hogan takes a turn and then a push, maybe a trip up.
Boy, we've seen a few of these that are beginning to approach the dangerous edges of that box. PK, I mean, come on, who could write it?
Be up there.
Who could write a better script for this than for there to be a PK in any way to have somebody get a chance to decide this? I don't know.
Well, it's going to be Hogan at the ball again, and from this angle, and maybe because she's done it again, I don't think she'd go direct to goal, but we'll find out. She goes into the wall, falls back to her feet, though, and this time a little friendly push from the back. Gets a good takeover for Albion, a good position. Beats 2, working up that flank by herself. And now support comes in. Has to send it back out. Yeah, just a lot of kind of these full-on collisions where it's like both players are running in. Both players trying to get possession of the ball.
And I think that was Brooke Zeleny who was carrying that all the way up that left sideline herself. In one of those, again, kind of heroic individual efforts. yes, it takes everybody. It takes all 11 and really the entire match day roster that you bring with you, and it always will. But on an individual scoring play, yeah, sometimes somebody does take over. Hogan, the free kick and the score, perfect example.
Well, you're under the 15-minute mark. Now at the 12, you got a good chance here. Bernice, and it fizzles out. Well, this one's going to be a corner for the Hornets. You got a ball on the field, so you got to wait for that to be cleared, but it looks like the Hornets are trying to move quickly. Well, now they got a chance. Another opportunity now, another corner.
Okay, still thinking Albertus.
Up in the air. Tries to connect it, hits the floor. Can anybody get their feet on it? Goes right back out for another corner. So you trade a corner for a corner and you say, let's hit the replay button. And here we go.
It was the way, to me, that Bernice stalked that ball that I'm really looking at. Maybe you back her up a little bit further from the original flight of the ball, give her a better run up.
And there you go. Oh, and just off the top of the crossbar. I said there you go in the sense that you called the play. Bernice a little bit set back further. She had a little bit of a late run, but just got the top of the crossbar. And you know Welsh is taking a breath after that one. I'm taking a breath.
Yeah.
That one was close if you're going to call close. I mean, just the right idea from everybody there. The service was on point. The run-in was on point. The angle of the header was just slightly off as this one is skied into the air. But you gotta run that one back if you're the Hornets. You want that one back, if anything. Now out for an Albion throw-in, and you got to sit with it a little bit, right? As you almost you're like, that one, if anything, was made for Bernice. And just hit off the top of the crossbar.
All right, I've decompressed after that, but I'm telling you, you get one more corner there with Bernice and one more chance, and you just got to do it one more time. I mean, just like the definition of insanity, expecting a different result, except that it's Albertus.
Albion tries to respond with their own set piece, hits the floor, now looking for a clearance. It was awkward. Dished out to Westra. Westra battling two. Beats one, beats the other, now moving up the field. But the speed. Williamson, and a hard dive there from Williamson after just having a lot of speed there, beating out Westra.
Well, and then kind of obliterates Kemery.
Yeah.
It wasn't a difficult call on this one.
And I almost, if that just had a little bit more of Kemery, I believe that would have been a card. Well, it's going to be Schnell to handle this set piece. Looks like she's going for the assist here as all the Hornets set up at the top of the box. It's going to be a number of runs. Eeny, miny, mo, who do you pick? This one punched out by Welsh. Battling in the box. Trying to get a clearance, and they do. It's going to be a throw-in in a good position for the Hornets. So they still maintain position up the field. So still overall in a good spot. Backwards header. Falls right back to Hogan. Westra tried to get her body onto it. Unable to. Cleared, but only as far as the top of the box. And this one is wide.
Okay, but do you want to talk about playing with fire? I had to let that whole sequence play out. Do you want to talk about playing with fire? Wow.
Yeah, that was a lot of everything, right? You're still maintaining those quick, shorter passes, but keeping it clean, keeping it without mistakes, making sure you're not giving up any transition plays. That was well done by the Hornets. Albion now trying to respond with a run of their own. A little bit of a trip up there, but overall the call goes to the Hornets. And now you're under the 10-minute mark. And now things get a little bit heavier for both sides. And the call returns to the Albion now. A lot of battle in the midfield. And again, it's out. So slowly inching their way back up the field is Albion. Throw-in by throw-in, they try to make that movement upfield.
Okay, this is a tournament match, right?
Yeah, if any. Yeah, you're seeing both teams go at it with 100% right now. They are emptying out their tanks as much as they can, and now it's going to go in the opposite direction. Hornets with a quick restart.
And not just that, Albion, coming in with a 1-2 record in the conference, could have really used a win. If this, say it holds up, say they draw here, say they drop any other in the conference, there's never a guarantee that they're going to be in that tournament.
Yeah.
As an 8-3 team right here at this point in the year, that's stunning.
Yeah, and it's got to hurt a little bit, right, if you're on that Albion team, which is why I'm saying it's going to get a little bit chippier as both teams start to get a little bit more frustrated and time starts to run out. Westra in a good position to try to take over this one. I mistimed her hop just a tad. Got kind of caught up in her feet. Maeve doing a good job. Maeve Nolan there. Tossed in. And right back out for another throw-in.
Yeah, Hurtado is signaling that immediately, and she's not even involved on the play on it.
Yeah, Hurtado's not going to let it slide. I mean, this is a player, she's trying to make sure her assist sticks, trying to make her presence on that field known, and she is doing her job. Albion doing more to respond. Good takeover in center of the field there. Moving up the field quick now. Trying to see if they can pass it out to anybody. Unable to. Oh, you kind of wish that one would have ended a little bit differently. Maybe you do a cutback. You were by yourself. A lot of these what ifs, but in general, these Hornets playing really strong soccer. They opt to go short here. Now in the midfield, more battles to be had. Back and forth, doing a good job to do a takeover there. Falls to the feet of Westra. Westra in a 1v2. Goes up the middle to Hogan. Hogan with a good turnaround. Hogan trying to make something happen. Passes it out. Now working up the flank. Oh, and just out of the reach. Oh, that was another nice idea there, and it's just that final third that the Hornets are missing. They've come up with really good plays so far. It's almost like textbook, the way that you can see, the way that they drop these plays. But it's that final finish that they just can't connect on just yet.
And they haven't missed too many of those opportunities this season, especially at home. The MAC, the home field advantage that's been had here for years upon years with this program, and both sides, right? The men's side as well. We pack the MAC. You know how that goes around here. And there's one little something that is just missing a little bit, because the stats show and our eyes show feels like this shouldn't be a draw. Feels like somebody should win this one some way, somehow.
And now more work at the top of the box here. Hard collision on Hogan. And it's going to be a no call. And I got it kind of, usually I keep it to myself. I got to kind of cringe a little bit there. I don't know if it would have been a direct penalty, but I think at least some type of call should have been awarded there. Another good positioning for El Bernis now. Kat did well to keep her position onside. Dished out of Maggie Westra, back to Bernis. And Bernis just off balance there. The shot goes wide. It was a good idea, but yet I still go back to the play prior. Ruby Hogan in the box. Right there, you kind of wish you had that VAR.
I'm not certain what more needed to be seen to award a PK per se. Yeah.
Yeah, that was a lot of power on both sides, but you could definitely see that Hogan got the worst of it. And just, yeah, that's definitely going to be a play that if this ends out in this one draw, that you're going to want to circle. Good clearance there. Believe that was Maeve Nolan. More work on these flanks as Albion still has not let go of these flanks. Comes out for a goal kick. And now the Hornets are going to be moving quickly. Just under 2 minutes for this game to commence here. Sent into the midfield. Falls back to the feet of Bernis. Bernis now setting up a run on the flank. Some juggling going on at the top of the box. And it's out for a corner. Well, that was second base best case scenario right there. Right out of all the things you want to come out of a run like that one, you want at least a corner. And now, Tanner, you asked the question, does it go back to Bernis?
In a word, yes. In a word, it's got to.
Well, it's sent in the air. Bernis flying, this time handled well by Albion. And right there, kind of seems like it took a deflection on an elbow. No call. You have just under a minute left of playtime. It looks like Albion's going to try to take the last play and send everybody upfield. And, yeah, and you're hearing it from the crowd, but almost everyone believing that a handball should have been called. Albion trying to close it out now. You got almost 30 seconds left on the play clock.
Okay, survival time on both sides. We've seen that flip dramatically. This is one more last beat. Interesting.
Gets cut up by Albion right there. More work at the top of the box. Could we see something? Blocked by Welsh. As quickly as possible as they can set it up. You got 10 seconds on the stopwatch.
8,
Kicked
7,
in the air.
6,
And
4,
on the floor. Welsh with the diving save. And there's your whistle. Welsh still on the floor.
Could that really be how this ends?
That just was wild. No words for that one. It took a deflection. It should have been in the back of the net. Welsh with just some type of superhuman powers that she was able to kind of make that split-second decision to get down there in time and save that. I mean, full credit to Welsh there for being able to get down there, but you almost got to be like, was there more to be had from this Hornet team? Did they, like, was the scoreline deserving of how they played?
Yeah. The answer is no. The answer is our eyes and our hearts probably tell us nothing felt like a draw about this. Albion on their side, probably a survival technique for the most part for the last 20-plus minutes. They were under fire. They got really peppered, more than Welsh has seen at all this season by a huge margin, really. And on Kalamazoo's side, a couple finishes, a couple opportunities that just didn't happen that you will think about. The point, however, helps their side more than it does for Albion.
Yes, 100%, and that's where I want to agree with you on. Yes, you come out with a draw, but you do come out with a point, which are going to help you in those MIAA standings. But, I mean, just everything about this game does not give you a 1-1 draw. If you look on shots on goal, the Hornets outweighing the Brits 9-2 shots on goal. I mean, the Hornets had 9 opportunities of seeing that net, and it just unable to finish there. So that's definitely going to be a topic of conversation, right? Is how can we kind of close in on that finishing third? How can we make sure that next time those goals go in the back of that net, and instead of the number being 9 shots on goal, you got 9 goals? So a lot of questions to be had, even in terms of foul. Kalamazoo had 14, 11 for Albion. And towards the end, those foul calls got chippier and chippier, right? And even, I mean, I hate to say it, but some of them I didn't 100% see the call or maybe there was some missed call. So a lot of questions, a lot of things lead up to the score that it is now. But in general, I mean, at the end of the day, you still end out here at a 1-1 draw.
And have not lost at home in a really long time. So, 3-0-2 in MIAA play, that all-important point. You're starting to think, well, okay, we've only got, what have you got? The 3 conference matches remaining, right? Trine, Calvin, Hope. Well, 2 fantastic teams, 1 very solid team, all in there, 2 out of 3 on the road. You needed at minimum this point on the Kalamazoo side, but now you're feeling pretty good about getting into that tournament. You got to be in that top 6.
Yeah, and again, the Hornets playing really different from that season last year, right? So a lot of turnaround, and you can only imagine, hey, let's be proud of what got us that goal. Let's be proud of the build-up, the success that we had on the field. But then let's also tackle the question of why that finishing third was not able to connect all the time. Where were those misconnections or those miscommunications, and how do we stop them before going on and facing Shrine, before going on and facing Calvin, and before facing Hope? So a lot of questions to be had. I mean, that pretty much finishes it up for me, Tanner.
Thank you for having me, as it were. Glad to join as I did. I think I picked, the right time if we had to. Besides, the shot attempt that you wanted to tell me all about with Ani Schnell, and I appreciated that as well. But we were treated once again at the MAC. It felt like perhaps it shouldn't end in a draw, but it is in no way the end of the world. It is a fantastic showing for senior night in so many ways, and for so many of your Kalamazoo seniors that we cannot thank enough for their contributions.
Yeah, and with that pretty much closes out for the night. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. My name's Maya Pasillas. I'm with
Tanner White.
And we'll catch you guys in the next one.